what's going on with Southwest? Are they cutting too many corners trying to earn an extra buck after the you-know-what shutdown? A Southwest flight had to make an emergency landing at Denver International Airport after one of its tires failed during takeoff. Hi everyone, I'm Mary with MaryGreeley News. Thank you very much for joining me. Southwest Flight 225 had to return to Denver after the pilot declared an emergency on Monday. According to FlightAware, the aircraft was a Boeing 737-700 heading for Phoenix Sky Harbor International. Here's the image that FlightAware has on its website. Yeah, you can see that, landing there in Denver. Here we have how long they were up in the air and the time. FlightAware shows the plane took off from Denver International Airport at 6:31 p.m. on Monday. However, shortly after Southwest said one of its tires failed, the plane landed back at Denver International Airport at 7:12 p.m. Yeah, they weren't even in the air an hour, with about 45 minutes. Southwest said the flight landed without incident and taxied off the runway. The passengers were able to board a separate aircraft for the flight to Phoenix. FlightAware said that the plane left DIA again at 10:26 p.m. and arrived in Arizona at 11:07 p.m., nearly 3 hours and 45 minutes after its scheduled arrival. Several users on Reddit posted about what they called a scary situation. However, a majority of the commenters praised the pilot and flight crew for staying calm and keeping the cabin informed how to stay safe. Here's one of the posts on Reddit. It says, "Hi all. Was anyone else on the emergency landing flight last night? I would love for the pilot to be celebrated for his amazing efforts during the scary situation for all. Does anyone have the full details or information?" So here in this comment, it says they had a front tire blowout right after takeoff. After that, nothing sounded right. As the gears were being brought in on takeoff, the sounds of vibration just increased, what felt like exponentially. Our plane began drifting. In all honesty, there were some crazy winds. Winds would have caused additional problems and delays later. The entire process ultimately impacted one of the hydraulic systems. I don't know how many planes were ultimately delayed, but the main runway had to be cleared for the emergency landing. The flight attendants were told that our nose would likely be going down, and that those of us in the front rows, including those in the emergency sections, OP, had noted, were briefed even more on protocols. The slides and the clearing, the plane for fire and rescue. There's an added note here. It says, "I will note again, the pilot was so calm and did such an amazing job. The flight attendants too, but to see them so visibly scared definitely notified us all something was severely wrong." Now here also there's a comment. I guess they had to be towed, so the plane didn't really taxi. Says there was no slide. We could land after some more than unusual bumpy landing. Since we didn't have all the working pieces, we had to be towed in a good portion at the end. Then we deboarded more or less as expected. Another response says, "Right before wheels up, we heard the huge bang sound from under the plane. Then 10 minutes into the flight attendants turned the lights on and seemed to be concerned. They told us that we may have to make an emergency crash landing. From what I've heard from others, the pop noise ruptured or affected our hydraulics and potentially other systems." Then everyone was panicking, including the flight attendants. "We were told to brace for impact and assume brace positions. The people in the emergency exits were told that they would likely have to open their doors. The attendants said they have 20 to 30 years of experience and have never experienced something like this. Evidently, they just ended a 3-hour meeting between the FAA and Boeing, and the decision was that they can't increase MAX plane productions until certain quality things are fixed. Boeing and FAA leaders said they will meet weekly on progress implementation on the plan, and the FAA will conduct monthly reviews. The plan includes several components to improve employee training, clarify instructions for assembly line employees, prevent suppliers from shipping defective components to Boeing, and go through additional FAA audits. The FAA is going to have inspectors on Boeing factory floor either daily to weekly, and senior meetings and quarter meetings between the CEO and FAA administrator. Work at Boeing has begun with this quality improvement plan, which includes hundreds of hours of new employee training and more time for management to spend supervising production line work. The improvement includes 7,500 new tools and equipment, 400 improved work instructions, and 300 hours of employee training material. Boeing says that they are urging employees to email to continue to speak up on safety issues. I don't know if I would do that. How many had mysterious death? 3 of them? What a scary situation. Another report says my daughter was on this flight, and as a mom, hearing this, I was beyond sick. She said the crew was amazing. Shout out to the pilots and the flight attendants. She got a $100 voucher and disgruntled me for Southwest. That could not do better. This was a frightening experience for her as well as the other passengers. How did this plane have so many issues that it was not addressed beforehand? Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but this was posted. Similar thing happened this past Sunday on a Southwest airline flight from Albuquerque, I believe, to Phoenix. One of their tires had a blowout upon taking off, and they had to do an emergency landing back at Albuquerque. They were also instructed to crouch with their heads down upon landing. My husband was on the flight, and it was a very scary experience for both of us. Obviously, mostly him. Another one, this is rather shocking. Believe it or not, my son and I saw a piece of the tire fly past the left wing of the plane during takeoff. So were you on that flight, and do you fly Southwest airline? If so, please put your comments down below. Yeah, they definitely have their problems. At least, I don't know. They had the one flight, wasn't it Southwest? I could be wrong, where the tire fell off and damaged all those cars that were there parked at the airport. Yeah, doors flying off, parts of the side of the plane falling off. I don't know. I think I might reconsider a different airline, but that's just me. Maybe I'm being too hard on them. What do you think? Please put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.